Hi everyone, welcome to my studio. I'm Virginia Killmore and today is Christmas Card Thursday. Did you notice that beautiful card made with our new Curvy Celebration stamp set that'll be out at the beginning of November? Did you happen to notice the beautiful envelope? I thought that was really cool. I'm going to show you how to do that today as well as the lovely card that you saw. So let's get started. Isn't that pretty, this card? It's so simple, very quick to make. I even used a little leftover piece in here that I had from making the envelope. And the envelope is so nice because you can slide it in. It has a beautiful lining on the inside, and I even stamped on the front of the envelope. So this card is not a lot of work to make, but we do use a few supplies, so I'm going to go over that with you. But let me zoom out so that you can see what we're doing today. So everything you're going to need is right here, and we are using Curvy Celebrations paper, stamps, and framelits. Now, you're probably wondering how you can get them. If you want to see what you would get for purchasing everything, I can send you this little flyer. You just need to send me a request for that via a text or an email. Or even just leave me a comment. If you purchase the bundle, you'll get 2 stamp sets, a set of framelits, and this designer series paper, which I'm going to show you in a second. All of that bundled for 10% off. So starting November 3rd, you can order that. This is what the designer series paper looks like. And you get 4 different designs. So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4 different designs in 3 different colors: cherry cobbler, Sahara sand, and shaded spruce. They also feature whisper white. So what you're seeing here are all the designs, but not all the variety of paper, because in the cherry cobbler you get all these patterns. In the shaded spruce, same thing in the Sahara sand. And I'll be making cards with that for the next couple of weeks. You're going to see some really pretty cards. I couldn't wait to order this. So this card is very easy to make. We're going to take a piece of designer series paper, cut it, and then we're going to stamp our sentiment and information there. And then I'm going to show you how to cut the envelope. So let's get started with that. We are going to take the scrap piece that I used from the first card and cut that right now. I'm going to get out my new Stamp and Emboss machine. I love how quickly it folds out and how easy it is to use. I am going to need all my layers 1 and 2 and 3, 2 number 3s. And I'm going to take my Curvy verses, and I always like to make sure I have it going the right way. And I'm just going to arbitrarily pick a pattern going across here. And this is the section I'm going to use for my card. So I just want it to lay sort of straight so that I get a good cut. And I only need to go through once. Pull that right out. I've got this all set, and I just realized the side that I want is really this top part, so we're going to have to cut that. But I could just use this if I wanted. I just like those little dots, so I'm just going to trim that off. That's sort of not in my plan, but that's okay. We'll get a nice trimmed section. We just need to make sure we've got enough to go through. There we go. Oh, I'm worried already that it's not going to work. We might have to use the other side of the paper because of the way I cut it. Or we might just be stuck with the piece that I have here. because you see, it's got to match up. And actually this does, so this works. We're just going to work with this. Okay, so I've got that. I didn't mess up too bad. But I've got this extra piece now that I can use for something else, and I'm going to set that aside. But I'm going to get my Whisper White cardstock and go ahead and get that glued on. Actually, I'm going to hold off until I've got my stamping done, just in case I mess up, and then I don't have to try to cut another one. So how do I get everything aligned here? The nice thing about these stamp sets is they're photopolymer, so you have some ability to move things around just in case they're not just the way you want them. And I'm using the beautiful stars and thinking of you at Christmas and the bow for my card. So I have already preset this, but let's just check and make sure I'm happy with it. Yes, it looks like it's going to work just fine. One of the ways you can fix this if you're not sure if you like it is to make sure it's nice and clean and lay the piece down along that line, and then pick it up with your clear block. That way you're sure that you get it lined up properly. And I'm going to just hope that I don't mess this up too much. There we go. I probably should have pulled it out flat, but it's pretty good. Look at how pretty that's stamped. And then we just need our sentiment. And I'm going to have that sort of tilted so that it fits right in there. And I think the reason I chose the bow was I thought it just needed something right down here. I'm just going to add that in. Okay, and I'm done. This card is done. I am going to glue this in. Oh, I love that side, but I already committed to this side. Just have to set that in place. It's so nice to have the framelits and everything that coordinates so nicely. So my card is done, but what I want to do now is my lovely envelope. So what I'm going to do is take a huge piece of the 6x6 paper, and I think I trimmed it. Yes, I did trim it. Yep, I trimmed it off by about 1/2 inch. Sorry. I'm going to bring back my cutter, and we are going to trim this now using a different set of embossing, framelits. This is one that we've used before. It's called Ornamental Envelopes. I'm pulling that out for you to see. And it does cutting as well as stamping. And we are going to use the second cutter from here, this one right here. This should cut my envelope to the right size. So I have to lay this down, make sure I have this laid down where I want it, and then put the cutting side down, and just make sure it lines up pretty good. If for some reason I need to trim a little bit, I can do that at the end, but I was pretty sure. And I'm just cutting right to those edges. So that's it. I'm done. That didn't take long at all. If you wanted to, you could whip out a bunch of these in no time. And I'm going to go ahead and just trim that off. I think it'll still fit. We'll see. If it doesn't, we can trim it on either side. But let's get our envelope out, which is sitting right here. And we can just slide that in. See how nice that fits? And you want to bring it down just below where you're going to glue that. And I'm going to put a little glue right across that section. There are cutters that you could cut out a design out of here, out of this paper, And then you would see the white envelope behind it, which I think is beautiful. But let's go ahead and stamp our little bow on the front. And there you have it. That's everything that I did earlier today, done with this card. This is a very fast card. A lot of times for Christmas, we need to do fast cards. I guess I forgot this part. I'm going to glue that in there. That's an extra little strip that's sitting around. It's going to throw it away. Why throw it away when I can decorate the inside of my cards? Okay, just take and trim that. And there, I have a beautiful card for Christmas. I can write a nice message in there. How fun is that? Here's the other one so you can see them both. It's kind of hard to fit them all in. I hope you had a great day today and you enjoyed my presentation. I'll be on tomorrow. We'll do a very quick card tomorrow. Have a wonderful afternoon, and I'll see you tomorrow.